Hey y'all, this is Bonnie. Welcome to Bonnie Life, where life happens. Before I go any further, I want to give a warning because this could be a foul language advisory. I really don't know what's going to come out of my mouth in this video because this is going to be raw and from the heart and about a topic that is very near and dear to me. And it's an emotional subject. I'm not going to cry because I think I have control over that right now, but I hope. But I'm going to paint my fingernails because I need something to do while I talk. Okay, so have any of you seen what's been going on with Sinead O'Connor? Do you even know who Sinead O'Connor is? She's a singer from back in my day, in my 20s. I think her most famous song was Nothing Compares to You, or just Nothing Compares. So anyway, recently she was in a hotel room, and she's from Ireland, and she was in this motel room in New Jersey, and she's just recording like I am, posting it to her Facebook page and or YouTube, I don't know, and I'll try to insert a clip of.
Why are we alone? What did we do? The people who suffer from mental illness are the most vulnerable people on earth. We can't take care of ourselves. And every day I've spent for 2 years that my entire life is revolving around just not dying, and that's not living. 2 years solitary confinement is enough. Please, will somebody in my bloody family act like you give a I'm now living in a Travelodge motel in the end of New Jersey. I've got a fucking kidney stone. I'm all by myself, and there's absolutely nobody in my life except my doctor, my psychiatrist, the sweetest man on earth, who says I'm his hero. And that's about the only thing keeping me alive at the moment. The fact that I'm his bloody hero. And that's kind of pathetic. The mental illness, you know, it's a bit like drugs. It doesn't give a shit who you are. And equally, you know what's worse? It's the stigma. It doesn't give a shit who you are. And suddenly, all the people who are supposed to be loving you and taking care of you are treating you like shit. And then when you're angry or you're hurt because they're doing it, it's like a witch hunt. They're pointing at you going, see, this is why we don't want to know. And it's like, oh, I'm not staying alive for me. For me, if it was me, I'd be gone straight away back to my mom. Because I've walked this earth alone for 2 years now as punishment for being mentally ill.
She's having basically a total mental break. And what she talked about was about mental health, and how mental health is so ignored in this country and all over the world, and how people are treated like total outcasts because if they have a mental illness. And one thing that resonated with me and a lot of other people is that she kept saying, I'm just one of millions. This is what makes it so sad, because this is a huge problem all over the world, and it just gets ignored and swept under the rug, and nobody wants to talk about it. You know, let's not talk about that thing because there's something wrong with it. I mean, of course there is. There's something wrong, just like there's something wrong with someone who has diabetes or cancer. There's something wrong. But, you know, people who have those illnesses, they'll get the proper care they need from hopefully, from doctors. They're more likely to anyway. Mental health, the system is just dead. It sucks. So anyway, Sinead O'Connor was talking about this mental health thing, and the thing that stands out that she said is, I'm just one of millions. It's not, you know, it's not like it's just me. This isn't a singular problem for one person, and I'm just one of millions. So when I get the chance when I'm on Twitter, I'll hashtag one of millions. And in fact, on my anniversary, I said, how has my husband dealt with me? It was our 30th wedding anniversary, and I was like, how has he put up with me this many years? He's one in a million, and I'm hashtag one of millions. Because he's a one in a million guy to put up with all of the mental disorders that I suffer with, and he helps me. I couldn't have gotten through without him, to tell you the truth. I'm very, very fortunate to have a doctor who has been treating me for the last gosh, since the 90s. So she's very, very familiar with me. I think, gosh, she's been treating me 25 years, something like that. In fact, this is not something you would normally do with a doctor, but at the end of our appointment, when we were finished, I stood up and she held my hands and she's like, let's just pray together. You know, 'cause sometimes the doctors just don't have the answers. And when she doesn't have the answers, she's like, you know what, let's just pray it out. Or let's hug it out. and we do, and we did. And it helped. It always helps to know there's someone there that understands. So tonight I was watching some YouTube videos, and I was watching another YouTuber who does things similar to me. And she was talking about her issues of feeling like, from what I drew from it, there was a feeling of guilt for having a mental illness. And specifically, this discussion was about post-traumatic stress disorder, and feeling like, you know, most people seem to think that only people who have served in the military and gone to war experience post-traumatic stress. Not true. Absolutely not true. What people are forced into during wartime is horrible. Does wartime PTSD exist? Absolutely. Does that discount any other form of PTSD? Absolutely not. People have post-traumatic stress from all sorts of trauma. Not all warriors are soldiers, because some warriors fight battles that have nothing to do with rifles and guns. They have to do with the battles inside of our own minds because of things we've experienced. Then I want to touch on another person whose channel, I think they watch my channel, I watch theirs, and they spoke about panic disorder and having it. And you know, I kudos to all of you who speak out about these things, because they're so important, and we can feel so isolated sometimes. Where was I? The person with the anxiety disorder, the panic, oh gosh, detailed a panic attack. They seem pretty much the same everywhere we go. And then I watched a few people having panic attacks on YouTube, and I just wanted to jump to the screen and help them and tell them some things that I do. And then I've been watching people talk about, the same as me, I've talked about it, seasonal affective disorder, with all of these things seem to clump together, these mental disorders. And I just want you to know, it doesn't mean you're weak. And I'm not just telling myself that, because I've lived with this for a long time. There's a meme that went around that says it's not that your mental health doesn't mean you're weak, it means you've been strong for too long. I don't know if that's true, but I do know that people who struggle with these kind of disorders are super, super strong. Because when you have a panic attack, I likened it to someone who has a phobia of snakes. And they see a snake and they go, and people say it's a flight or fight, you know, like, am I going to kill the snake or am I going to run away from the snake? And they're trying to make that decision, and that's the feeling you have. No, that totally simplifies it. This is like being afraid of snakes, seeing a black mamba, and it bites your ass. I'm going to say it. It bites your ass. And you know you're dying. Your body suddenly throws everything it has at it. Adrenaline, epinephrine. You start trying to take in more air, so you end up hyperventilating, which causes more of these hormones and chemicals to be released from your brain into your body, which causes all these physical symptoms, to the point that, I mean, okay, so that's what it would feel like on top of the pain from the bite if you had actually been bit. But I mean, no, the physical reaction to a panic attack is the same as if not just seeing a snake and going, oh my goodness, it's a snake. It's like, holy shit, I've been bit. I'm going to die. That's a panic attack. Anxiety is tiptoeing around like, I'm afraid I'm going to see a snake. And I don't mean to diminish, because that's for people who have a phobia of snakes. That's high. That's a big deal. And I have anxiety, and I'm not going to make fun of it, because I'd be making fun of my own self. But yeah, it's you are literally experiencing the throes of death. Only you don't die, and you won't die from a panic attack. I've said this before. The problem is people tend to think, why don't you just tell yourself that? In fact, my mom told me that tonight. My mom said, I wish you could just convince yourself that you're going to be okay. Well, I wish I could do that too. Then the world would just be a wonderful place and butterflies would land on my shoulders and Mr. Blue Jay and blah, blah, blah. Twinkle, twinkle, fairy tale. And that's just not my life. And I'm sure it's not a lot of yours if you're watching this. So what I'd like to do is create a safe place here on my channel for those of us who suffer with various kinds of mental illness, and help each other. A little support group. And I understand not wanting to be identified, and because if you look at the numbers, you'll see that most of my views on YouTube here come from my wish hauls or my shopping hauls, and videos like this get very few. I think most of the people watching this are people who are suffering with a mental disorder, and it'll be in the title, and that'll keep people from looking because they have no interest in it, unless they are actually interested in it, which means they're suffering from it. So I think that if you wish to be identified so that we can all support each other on here, that we should, in the comment section, I will put it in the description of all of my videos to remind you guys that I'm here for you. I have an email address that's always in my description box. Feel free to email me anytime. I've had so many people email me and tell me that they're going through things or that they're dealing with mental health issues. And I'm not a doctor, I can't help, but I can be their friend, and that's what I have been trying to do. And I hope in some small way that I have been able to help them through at least the moment. Let them know they're not alone. So let's do it, you guys. Let's do the hashtag. We don't even have to say one of millions. We can abbreviate it to OOM. Just hashtag OOM. And we'll be part of the 1 of million club. We're the 1 of millions that suffer. One of many. You can think of it that way too. 1 of many. OOM. If you want to be identified and you want other people who suffer, and only other people who suffer to know that you're with them and that you are also one of us, then in the comment box to this, write OOM. In future videos, if you're having a hard time, write OOM. We'll find you, or you know, let us know how to find you. Contact me through an email, and I'll try to put something out letting people know. If you need to be reached and you need people to talk to, I will do everything that I can, because what the hell reason is there for me to keep on living every day if I can't help somebody? Because that's part of my biggest problem right now, being 51 years old and going, I have nothing left to offer this world. I've raised my children. I've done everything I can. I'm living 4 hours at a time. My Twitter description says living each day Xanax to Xanax, which is the absolute truth. That's how I live. So, it's not the best life, but it's a life, and it's a pretty good life. I'm making the best of it, and you can too. And we may never be healed, but we can learn to cope, and we can lean on each other. And it sure helps when we know we're not alone. And when we have someone we could pick up the phone and call. I mean, my someone is no longer here, but I still have Dennis, and he gets it. So it's up to you guys if you want to throw that in there, and identify yourselves with the hashtag OOM, or just write it out, 1 of millions. We'll know who you are, and everybody else won't, because they'll just be there to see what I bought that week. Oh, Lord help us all. I'll keep all of you in my prayers, and thank you, those of you who have sent messages to me and have encouraged me on my journey. That's really what I'm here for. But a lot of us hide behind other things. Like, I was painting my nails, or I'm shopping, and showing what I bought. Just finding some reason to connect, you know. But sometimes it's really hard to just come right out and say, hey, I need help. I'm having a tough time. So, I hope you make the right connections. It's all I have to offer. Okay, I love you guys. Take care. I didn't cuss too much. I thought I was going to really go beast mode, but I didn't, and I got my nails polished. So there's that. More fall looking color than I had before. I'm going to touch it up, and I will talk to y'all later. God bless you. I have you all in my prayers, and when I watch your video, whether I comment or not, I'm there. I'm feeling it. You're not alone.